Motorsport is cool, and it's cool on every level, from the uncool kid to the super cool kid.
What's cracking? It's TR for Slipstream. We are here at Donington for the BSB round. Super stoked. It's lit. It's not rained yet. This is a blessing. We're here with Moto Rapido Oxford Ducati for the day. They're putting us up. They're giving us access. We're going to see their bikes. We're going to speak to their riders. Really looking forward to the day. Stay tuned in. Bang, bang, bang. BSB's just kicked off. As you can see, I'm gassed. What's up, my people? It's TR for Slipstream, and we are here at Donington for BSB round, and we are here with Moto Rapido Oxford Ducati with Christian Iddon. He's a superbike racer who we've been following for a long time, and we are stoked to be sitting here with him right now. Christian, congrats on your podium today. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. You know, that's what we're here for, really. Well, we're here for wins, you know, podium.
Yeah, no, that was chess, not checkers, man. I saw you tearing it up with, I think it was Leon Haslam and someone else on the Kawasaki was trying to get a bit feisty with you, but I saw you on the switchback, you were getting busy. So, how do you feel about your progress in the season so far? Like, how do you feel about it in terms of momentum, progress, just keeping the rhythm? How do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, I've got a really good way of, as well, sort of using sort of the helicopter technique of like taking yourself above a situation, looking down it from above and seeing it from all the angles, and then once I've done that, usually just stay quiet, because whatever the situation is what it is, so yeah. I'd say, like, again, external perspective, we are not racing experts, but we do care about culture, and what I'd say is that, you know, still waters run deep, and that your process, your perspective might not be able to come out in a soundbite in a post-race interview, right? Because it is a little bit more intricate and complex, and there's levels to it. So I'd say lean into that. We want to see more of that process and more about how you reflect, because I think there's actually a lot to be taken from how you process when things aren't going right, and how you maintain composure and discipline, and how you lead and pull with your team as opposed to separating from them. And I think there's a lot of people that would resonate with that style of thinking, whether they're in a lower class of competition or just in life, to be honest with you. Speaking about personalities, what would you say are some of the standout rivalries that you've seen this season? Oh, I mean, rivalries, it's pretty clear at the moment. You've got the two main championship protagonists, you've got Glenn and Tommy, and you know, they are two very fiery characters. Yeah. Quite opposite to what I am. But yeah, their rivalry's been interesting. But
cardinal sin, don't knock your teammate off.
Try not to,
Unlike your Ducati cousins from today.
Them guys now, they're like starting to show cracks in their armour a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's natural, you know, the pressure is so high in any sport. I think from the outside people see this as a lot of glitz and glamour, and yeah, sure there is, you know, and from the outside it looks a big show.
I mean, these are really nice chairs, so...
Exactly,
right,
we get nice chairs.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a rider, as a team manager, as a team owner, as a mechanics, you know, it's a real pressure cooker situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, everyone is in a time constraint, everyone is after the best result, and everything that you do is judged to the nth degree.
Yeah.
It looks like the most awesome thing you can ever do, and believe me, it's a pretty cool job. Yeah. But there's a lot of other things that make it.
It seems pretty high pressure, yeah.
Not quite as nice as it is. You
Absolutely,
know, so getting a podium today was a nice reward for them. But yeah, races, there's always the next race as well.
But I mean, you were shifting today. You were grafting. In terms of the sport in general, we love it because it's like the bikes we ride, the R1s, the Ducatis, the Kawasaki's. It's like them, but on steroids, and it's like to see our bikes do things that we can't do, basically. Because MotoGP is MotoGP, World Superbike is World Superbike, but this is like, you know, no electronics. It's like the real deal. And you know, in terms of like a V4R that you can buy if you have that kind of money in an economic downturn. If you do, please get at me because then we can be friends. In terms of one you can buy from a store and what you're riding on track, what would you say are like the biggest differences?
It's kind of something that the series now is trying to peg the job in a little bit.
Okay.
Because essentially, if you think of MotoGP being F1, you know, nothing's real. You can't go out and buy an F1.
Yeah.
You can't go and buy a MotoGP bike. If you think of Superbikes being a touring car,
okay,
so supposedly it's supposed to be a kayak touring bike.
Yeah.
But actually, it's not strictly true. In fact, it's not true at all. So
right.
You take this bike and pretty much the frame and the engine case is what you're going to have.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else has changed. So we take all the electronics off it, which is the championship make you do that.
Yeah.
So actually, we've got a less refined package than
what we could buy from the shop.
What you can buy from the shop.
Yeah.
So you still have things that no bike runs without a computer, but it's not a reactive computer, is the way to say it.
Yeah.
Forks are different, shocks are different, subframes are different, rear sets are different, swing arms are different, engine internals are different.
Yeah, literally.
Brakes are different.
I feel like I just found out Santa isn't real because you're like, it's kind of like the bike you ride, but it's not really like the bike you ride.
Well, the thing is, so if you did buy a V4R and put a set of slicks in it, the wheels are different.
Yeah.
And put a set of slicks in it, you'd probably be able to lap within half a second of what we're doing on that. So, as much as it's a huge
love the confidence,
you can get very, very close if you've got the right rider.
I think we should probably switch that to you could probably get with it. I mean, again,
so you'd like to think you could get with it.
I like the respect that you're giving me on that, but
with the same tyre combination and that. So, but the thing is, to be able to compete because the margins are so fine that you need all that stuff. You know, you can't say, well, why don't you just ride that bike then and may do, because you can't. You know, a second is
a lifetime in racing.
And you know that's motorbike sport compared to some of the other sports. Motorsports, you know, it is super close.
Absolutely.
So everything's just like marginal gains, and just nibbling away a little bit. You know, the bikes are always getting refined, getting slightly new parts. Lately, there's not been a load of new stuff. You know, most of the manufacturers now are sort of ramping down the development of the thousands. There's not that many. I mean, basically, that thing will make over 200 horsepower as a road bike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I have a road license, but there's no way I want to ride that thing on the road with 200 horsepower.
It's difficult.
Tend to now buy what my teammate rides in the Supersport class, you know, which is insanely fast anyway, but just a little bit easier to ride. The big issue that most of these circuits have is sound. So actually, as much as I'm a petrol head, it might make it way more accessible, and even more so now for kids especially. The electric motocross bikes or the electric little dirt bikes, they're really good. And now, instead of being like a little tow rag that's like annoying, like Sheila from down the road with the noise, all of a sudden now,
that was me.
Actually, you can go and just have a little bit of a play in the field.
Absolutely.
As long as you don't make too much of a mess, and you know the owner of the field, then
do you know what? No one's made that case to me, and it's the most compelling case that we've heard so far in terms of it being making motorsport and riding more accessible to more people, definitely.
And I think it's such an inaccessible sport because of those things. And there's not many circuits, there's not many places you can go ride. But you know, if you had a field near a bit of a built-up area where kids could go and play and on their bikes,
absolutely,
and have a good time and have a common interest, I think that's mega. And it is, motorsport is cool. And it's cool on every level, from the uncool kid to the super cool kid.
Absolutely.
So it's almost a common ground, they can sort of come together, whereas other things, maybe they wouldn't come together. It actually brings people together.
And we know bikes build bonds, that's something we talk about constantly. We also evangelise quite a lot about, because you spoke about road riders with these big 1,000cc bikes and them really being too much for the road, which I agree with. So we evangelise quite a lot about getting people on the track. I think for a lot of people, a track day is seen as something they have to work up to. It's actually quite daunting, especially if they haven't got mates that go and stuff. So we make a point of inviting people when we go for their first days to kind of guide them through the process. This is where you sign on, noise testing or whatever the case may be. I know you said that you've been riding since you were about 2, so it's like second nature for you, but for a lot of people it's not that, and I think accessibility is a huge thing. In terms of the championship as a whole, What would you like to see from the championship moving into 24?
I would like to see, and they're working hard with it, there's a few new classes coming in, just that ability to try and make it a little bit more affordable. Because this is an expensive sport.
Yes, it is.
This isn't football where you need a pair of boots.
Yeah.
Tennis where you need a racket. This is an expensive sport.
Yeah.
So it's a shame because the select few that are able to partake, you might be missing out on a huge talent pool. So there's a few little schemes that go to try and get kids that maybe can't get into it so well, but there's some pit bike classes that would be nice to see if maybe us as riders at the top tier, like the Superbike class and the Supersport class, could maybe get together and go and watch and encourage kids that are not necessarily in this series, but in the mini bike series, just to try and give a bit of.
I'm sure you've done mini bikes, by the way. Have you ever done mini bikes?
I never did. So I came through the dirt bike ranks. So I was motocross.
Okay.
I didn't ride a tarmac bike until I started doing supermoto. So I was like 17 years old, and
right.
I was really late to the game. And again, that was accessibility. So.
But racing is expensive.
Yeah, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
At the time when we were going to move. So yeah. Some of them middle classes now, and next year 2024 there's a few new classes, and I think that's going to really help. But I think it almost needs to start even before that.
Yeah.
So like the kids, the 6-year-old and up.
Increase the selection pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I think that's the direction.
Find that one off, and then someone gives them a chance. So that'd be nice.
Also, I tried mini bikes as an adult. Rentapitbike.com, I think they're called. Shout them because they're amazing. Do it. It's so fun. It's basically go-karts. It's sick. Just a bit of advice.
My teammate from a couple of years ago, Danny Kent, he started racing because they went to a go-kart track and the go-karts weren't on that day. So the mini bikes were on.
Yeah.
They rode mini bikes and became world champion.
There you go.
That to me, when he told me that story, that blew my mind.
Yeah, honestly, no, it's sick. Listen, I know you've got a busy day, got another race coming. Really appreciate your time today. I thought it was really insightful, and I think that a lot of people would value your perspective. So, appreciate you, my man. No doubt. Thank you.